Please welcome your host for the evening, award-winning journalist, entrepreneur, and anchor of the weekly syndicated political show Matter of Fact, Soledad O'Brien.
This very special evening, the awards gala for the 82nd Annual Regeneron Science Talent Search. I am honored to serve as your host tonight as we recognize and celebrate 40 remarkable students. So welcome and thank you for taking the time to join us. The Regeneron Science Talent Search program of Society for Science is designed to identify and nurture the next generation of scientific talent. For more than 80 years, STS has provided a forum for the country's best and brightest young scientists to present original research to nationally recognized STEM leaders. Together, Regeneron and the Society are committed to continuing the STS tradition of encouraging and rewarding exceptional high school seniors for their pursuit of excellence in science, math, engineering, and medicine. Each of the 40 finalists will receive a minimum award of $25,000, and later tonight we will present the top 10 prizes, including the first place award of $250,000. Here is a, yes, that is worth clapping for. Here is a little bit more about the history of the STS program. Take a look.
Established in 1942, the Science Talent Search is the nation's oldest and most highly regarded science competition for high school seniors. Since then, nearly 164,000 students have applied, nearly 25,000 have been named scholars, and 3,280 finalists have traveled to Washington, D.C. Past competitors have been awarded more than $32 million and some very prestigious prizes. The 40 finalists are the scientific and engineering leaders of tomorrow. They'll shape the future and invent the world our children will live in.
It is my pleasure to present to you the Regeneron Science Talent Search class of 2023. Congratulations to all of you.
Live from Washington, D.C., it's the 2023 Regeneron Science Talent Search Awards ceremony. Please welcome back tonight's host, Soledad O'Brien.
So, welcome to all of you here at the National Building Museum, and those, of course, who are joining us online. We're here tonight to celebrate the finalists of the 2023 Regeneron Science Talent Search. Regeneron STS recognizes and empowers promising young scientists who are generating innovative solutions to address significant global challenges. And by identifying future leaders in science, technology, engineering, and mathematics, STS provides students with a national stage to present new ideas and challenge conventional ways of thinking. For more than 100 years, Society for Science has been dedicated to fostering the growth of young scientists and to public engagement in science. In addition to STS, the Society owns and operates two other science research competitions, the Regeneron International Science and Engineering Fair and the Thermo Fisher Scientific Junior Innovators Challenge. The Society also publishes the award-winning magazines Science News and Science News Explores. As part of its 10-year, $100 million commitment to STS, Regeneron seeks to reward the nation's brightest young scientists and encourage their continued pursuit of scientific innovation. Thanks to Regeneron's support, STS rewards students and teachers for bringing scientific inquiry and engineering solutions to life through research by exceptional high school students. Tonight, our finalists will receive more than $1.8 million in awards, and in total, more than $3 million in awards will be presented to the 2023 Regeneron STS finalists, scholars, and their schools. Through its program, Society for Science is committed to expanding the public's scientific literacy, scientific research, and access to STEM education for all. The Society's mission is to promote the understanding and appreciation of science and the vital role it plays in human advancement to inform, educate, and inspire. Now, I am pleased to introduce Maya Ujmara, President and CEO for Society for Science and Executive Publisher of Science News. Prior to leading the Society, Maya founded and led for 18 years the Global Fund for Children, which has invested over $50 million in innovative grassroots organizations serving vulnerable children and youth around the world, touching the lives of more than 10 million young people. She's a member of the American Academy of Arts and Sciences, an award-winning children's book author with more than 20 titles, and has held several academic appointments at Duke University and Johns Hopkins University. She is also an alumna of the 1985 Science Talent Search. So please join me in welcoming Maya Ujmara.
Good evening. On behalf of the Society for Science, welcome to the 2023 Regeneron Science Talent Search. This has been an amazing week. In just a few days, the Regeneron Science Talent Search finalists have heard from esteemed alumni, visited a prestigious research facility, met with Dr. Arthi Prabhakar, cabinet member and head of the White House Office of Science and Technology Policy, and connected with some of the most important scientists, engineers, and mathematicians they will meet, their own peers. The 40 young scientists we are celebrating tonight continually inspire me with their tenacity, spirit of inquiry, and a vision of a better world. Whatever the challenge, climate change, life-threatening illnesses, social justice issues, these finalists are already on their way to solving them. I think we can all agree that we are in good hands. But of course, none of this would have been possible without the mentors and teachers in these students' lives. I know I would not be where I am today without the support of those around me. Growing up as the daughter of Indian immigrants in eastern North Carolina, I was very fortunate to have so many opportunities to thrive. In elementary school, I had a teacher named Mr. Wilkerson. One day, he brought to our classroom an old wooden chicken incubator. Over 21 days, we watched the growth of a chick embryo. Every few days, we would open the egg in a petri dish and record its development. It was an extraordinary experience that made me fall in love with science. Mr. Wilkerson was an amazing teacher who made learning fun. A few years later, in 8th and 9th grade, I was fortunate to work with a great mentor, Dr. Sagal, a botanist whose lab I had the opportunity to work in and study the growth of duckweed. He taught me the beauty of the scientific method, and I became a science fair junkie. And lastly, I was also very fortunate to have gone to the North Carolina School of Science and Mathematics, where they inspire young people to follow their passions in science, technology, engineering, and math. It was at this school, through their mentorship program, that I worked in the lab of Dr. Vickers Burdett at Duke University, who gave me the opportunity to do my Science Talent Search project. So I feel that the word I'm using a lot is fortunate. I have been fortunate. I feel fortunate. But no kid needs to ever feel fortunate. A great STEM teacher, a passionate mentor, an innovative public school, these are every child's right in this country. And that's why when I became the president and CEO of the Society for Science in 2014, I wanted to make sure that every young person could become a scientist or engineer if that's what they wanted to be when they grow up. It starts with making sure that every person in this country is scientifically literate. Since our founding in 1921 by E.W. Scripps and W.E. Ritter, our magazine Science News has provided independent, unbiased, and reliable science journalism to millions around the world. These same standards were brought to Science News Explorers, our middle school magazine, which further expanded our reach. But such resources would not mean much if they were not in the right hands. So we launched Science News Learning, which has brought lesson plans in our award-winning magazine to nearly 9,000 schools and over 17 million students. Next, we have to support our teachers. STEM teachers need professional development and resources to build the STEM workforce of the next generation. And And I am pleased that we have created the Research Teachers Conferences for the high school and middle school that has brought thousands of teachers to support them in building research programs in their schools. And to further empower educators, we also created the STEM Research Grant and the STEM Action Grant program. Both of these give teachers and innovative community-based organizations, many led by BIPOC leaders, the funds they need to inspire young people with hands-on science experiences. And because we believe science education should be accessible to all students, no matter what their background is, we started the Advocate Program. This unique program provides training, stipends, and year-round support to mentors working with students from underrepresented communities. So all of this, we hope, leads students to conduct their own research and compete at our affiliated science fairs across the United States and at the highest level, whether it is our middle school competition, the Thermo Fisher Scientific Junior Innovators Challenge, our global program, the Regeneron International Science and Engineering Fair, or the reason we're here tonight, the Regeneron Science Talent Search. With resources like these, it is our goal to make the scientific field as diverse as our country is, which is why I'm so happy to see such a diverse class of finalists. These students come from across the country and represent different backgrounds and bring a variety of experiences into the lab and beyond. And to these finalists, I want you to do two things. One, when you get off this stage, go home, thank the teachers and mentors who helped get you here tonight. And two, as you continue your careers, pay it forward. Already you are role models to young scientists and engineers across the country. Take that responsibility seriously. On that note, I'd like to thank Regeneron for not only their generosity for the support of the Science Talent Search, but also their extraordinary support of our STEM outreach and equity programs. Folks, they are the leaders in our country seeking to make sure all young people have STEM opportunities. Let's give them a big round of applause. To Len Schleifer, George Yankopoulos, Christina Chan, and the team, the Society for Science thanks you for your leadership. We are grateful for all that you do to invest in the next generation of scientific and engineering talent. Congratulations to the amazing 40 finalists. Both the Society for Science and Regeneron are looking forward to your contributions and accomplishments in the years to come. Thank you.
Thank you, Maya, and thanks to everyone at the Society for their support of our nation's aspiring scientists. Up next, we're going to hear from another STS alumnus, Dr. George Yankopoulos, Regeneron's co-founder, president, and chief scientific officer. As a leader in biotechnology, Regeneron invents life-transforming medicines for people in need and is on the front lines developing treatments for eye disease, allergic and inflammatory disease, cancer, and many other serious conditions. Regeneron is deeply invested in fostering the next generation of STEM talent to continue this legacy of scientific impact. Through their commitment to equity in science education, they support numerous outreach programs, ensuring as many talented kids as possible and their teachers have the resources necessary to pursue their passions for science. A member of the National Academy of Sciences, Dr. Yankopoulos, along with key members of his team, is the principal inventor of Regeneron's 9 FDA-approved drugs and foundational technologies. He has been pivotal in creating the science-driven culture at Regeneron, earning the company widespread recognition. So please join me in welcoming Dr. George Yankopoulos.
Hey, good evening, everyone. It's my great pleasure to be here and extend my sincerest congratulations to all of the 40 Regeneron Science Talent Search finalists. As a society, I fear that we are not doing enough to identify, celebrate, and nurture the best and the brightest. It seems that sometimes we forget that addressing humanity's greatest challenges requires the best and the brightest amongst us. That is exactly the purpose of the Regeneron Science Talent Search, to identify the best and the brightest, and to help them live up to the responsibility and obligation that comes with their great talent. We all know the world needs saving. If you watch Marvel movies, the saving is done by celluloid superheroes like Wonder Woman, Thor, Captain America, and the Black Panther. But in the real life superheroes have only the power of their intellect and their imagination to fight back with against truly existential threats, from disease to climate change. Each of the 40 finalists have the ability, but also the responsibility, to become the real-life superheroes of tomorrow and to save our world. It seems like just yesterday that I was very much like some of our finalists. Growing up in New York City, in a typical immigrant family, my own scientific journey began at the Bronx High School of Science. While the big dream is about saving the world, often our individual stories start with very personal inspiration. In my case, it started with seeing my beloved grandmother, or Yaya, as we say in Greek, begin her descent into the hell and despair of Alzheimer's disease. Having older students at Bronx Science who did science talent research projects as my role models, I decided to take on my own research project on regeneration as a first step to try to personally fight back against Alzheimer's. Remarkably to me, I became a Science Talent Search finalist and winner, and it entirely changed my life. It gave me the confidence to commit to a life of science, to devoting my life to using science to fight back against disease. In a remarkable full circle story, a few years later, I met another Science Talent Search alum, Len Schleifer, who convinced me to join him in starting a biotech company that would focus on our shared interests in regeneration. That company, as you know, is called Regeneron, and today has discovered 10 new medicines that have been approved or authorized by the FDA, including the world's leading treatments for blindness, allergic diseases, and even Ebola. But one of the things about Regeneron that I am proudest about and amazes me the most in terms of how it has come full circle is that we are now the sponsors of the Science Talent Search, the very competition that inspired and engaged both me and Len and many of our other scientists to pursue a career in science. Somebody else is impressed with that too. And now, when I actually visit high schools all over the country, I hear kids talking about doing their Regeneron project. When I was a kid, we talked about doing our Westinghouse project. Most of these kids don't even realize that the company and the name harken back to my own high school science project. Pretty amazing stuff. I want to end by telling what happened here a few years ago, the first time Regeneron sponsored the Science Talent Search Awards Gala. An older gentleman came up to me, and he said he hadn't come to one of these events in years, but he had to come just to meet me. He told me that his name was Don Harless, and that back in 1976, he was the president of the Science Talent Search, the equivalent to Maya Jmura that we just heard from. And he was the one who had personally handed me my award that night. Then Don told me that a few years before that gala, he started losing his eyesight, and he was going blind. But a doctor told him that there was a promising new medicine that might be able to help him. Don took that medicine and had what he described as a miraculous recovery, allowing him to go back to reading, driving, seeing his grandchildren's faces. He then did a little research, and he realized that the scientist who had invented this very medicine was the same kid that he had handed the Science Talent Search Award to some 40 years earlier. And Don told me that he couldn't be prouder that now that kid and his company was now sponsoring the Science Talent Search. And he hoped that perhaps one day, one of the kids that we would be recognizing that night would go forward and likewise discover something that would help me or someone in my family. To this year's finalists, I can only hope that you have such full circle experiences in your future. I once stood where you are now and went on to live my dream, of using science to do good in the world. You are the next generation of scientific leaders. I encourage you to keep thinking big and let science lead the way. Keep pushing the boundaries. Don't be afraid to push that edge to the point of failure, but then learn from those failures and come back stronger. We're all counting on each of you to develop the innovations of tomorrow. You'll be the ones to reimagine and reshape a future where all of humanity can survive and thrive. I and all of us will be watching. The world will be waiting with great hope and anticipation of what you'll do next. So thank you all and congratulations, and I wish you all the best of luck.
Thank you, George. And again, a big thanks to Regeneron for their ongoing dedication to STEM education. Tonight's STS finalists have experienced an unforgettable week here in DC. They met in person for the first time just last Thursday and have since embarked on an action-packed schedule of rigorous judging interviews, meetings with prominent scientists and government leaders, and sharing their research with a global audience via an online virtual forum. They visited Capitol Hill, toured monuments, and met with scientists at HHMI's Janelia Research Campus. They've participated in panel discussions with scientists from Regeneron and visited with national leaders at the White House Office of Science and Technology Policy. So we'd like to share a little glimpse of what they've been up to. Take a look.
If you consider a Venn diagram, this was the STS finalists. This was me. I didn't think they'd ever overlap, but here we are.
So the Regeneron Science Talent Search tries to identify the teens across our country who are the best positioned to make impacts in scientific fields.
I would describe STS as an event that all young high school researchers dream of going to.
Honestly, I didn't process it until like a week later, until like people kept congratulating me and like asking me like what my project was about.
Even though it's a competition with $250,000 at stake, it's very collaborative, very supportive actually.
Everyone is like in it together. We're all working towards the same goals, just learning and doing our best.
It simultaneously has felt like everything's gone by in a blip, but it also feels like I've known these people for a long time already.
If I were to summarize STS in one word, I'd say it's fun.
Inspiring to get exposed to all these like different projects and people and ideas.
Everyone's really into their fields and they can talk about it with such enthusiasm, and it's kind of infectious.
The meals, I feel like it's not really like a break because everyone's always talking about stuff. I feel like I'm learning everything every second that I'm out there.
I think my favorite part is just hanging out with the finalists in the lounge. It's just really fun realizing that we have so much in common despite our interests being so different.
One of my favorite activities during icebreakers was each of us has a tag of some scientific terminology on your back, and you have to ask a question about your name tag.
This morning at the Capitol building, all of us freezing, shivering, wrapping each other in blankets by making other people have a good experience. They are also gonna help you have a good experience.
And I think there is something to be said about being in our nation's capital. It's just a very special experience to be in Washington, D.C., which is where a lot of important stuff happens.
The schedule, it's really packed. I really want to be like in all these places at once, in the lounge, in the judging room, going to like different events. I just want to be everywhere so I can experience kind of everything that STS has to offer.
Even the judging's fun. The judges ask you these questions which are not like traditional science questions.
The judging process is really unpredictable, but at the same time it's really engaging. And it wasn't just the, oh, you got a correct answer or not.
We got to have dinner with some of our judges. That was really rewarding because we got to ask them questions about their work.
We all got to talk to some of the alumni, so it was cool to see what someone who was in our shoes went on to do.
We are in some ways the next generation of scientists, and I think it's so amazing that they're looking to us, people like us who are really young, honestly 17, 18, and giving us this platform.
Especially with the public exhibition day coming up where people can go onto the website or the live streams and be able to see our projects.
Thank you for the question.
The finalists this year of the Regeneron Science Talent Search, their research is really hitting all aspects of societal impact. I can't wait to see what these 40 young people are going to do.
I feel really honored to be able to be viewed as a scientist. I think that a lot of times like social science is pushed aside.
There's a finalist here that's using computer coding to early detect signs of suicide. And it's things like that where you're using your gift of knowledge to bring a meaningful change into the world.
A lot of times people feel like they can't do anything about it, but projects like mine or other environmental science projects gives us more hope that the younger generation can make a difference to combat this issue.
The Regeneron Science Talent Search is all about, taking our biggest social issues and tackling them with science.
I definitely think this project will make the world a much better place. Internet privacy is important to me.
I saw that these people were buying so many clothes without really knowing the dark side behind fast fashion is what really inspired me to delve deeper into that social and environmental lens.
There are a lot of problems in our world that need to be addressed in a variety of different ways, and they require all types of perspectives and backgrounds.
It's really cool because something like that, like starting a research project in high school, can lead to that person continuing that research and actually coming up with feasible solutions to solve like real world issues.
I certainly didn't know that you could do research in high school. I'm the only kid in my entire school who's ever really done math further than just going to class.
I think that a lot of students believe that doing research in STEM requires a PhD or a lot of experience, and for me all it took was a cold email.
I reached out to 30, I believe, scientists and engineers. Just how many people were super willing to write back, yeah, sure, I'll answer your questions, even though you're some high school student who I've never met.
I actually conducted most of my research at home in my little homemade lab, which is basically just my room.
I've only been a researcher for around 8 months. I think that says a lot about how research isn't necessarily about who's been doing it the longest.
No one in my family is really involved in STEM, and so being accepted into this community, it really showed me that anyone can do this, and I got this.
The problems that we face now are truly existential. The answers are not in front of us right now. These have to come from great new ideas, from great young minds. That's what these kids bring. They bring a new perspective, new ideas, and new hope to helping us all with all of our existential threats.
I'm really excited to kind of see 20 years from now what this group is doing, whether we have people who have cured cancer or have figured out how to treat personalized mental health treatment.
If you want to start like a biotech company, which I hope to do in the future as well, they may be your future colleagues and lifelong friends.
I'm really excited for my finalists and to see I knew them when they were when we were all seniors in high school and when we were doing our research projects.
It starts with us and it'll continue after us, and I think that hope is what's keeping everything alive.
Yep.
It has been an unforgettable week. Tonight's finalists are not just brilliant young scientists. Among them are athletes and dancers, musicians and debaters, journalists and social advocates. They are dedicated to giving back to their communities and those in need through volunteering and tutoring and creating new solutions to our world's most urgent challenges. So let's get to know a little bit more about our finalists now.
Kamisi Adetunji, North Carolina School of Science and Mathematics, Durham, North Carolina. Kamisi is co-captain of a West African dance group and founder of Snail Mail for Seniors, a group that connects students with elderly community members through letter writing. Kamisi hopes to study chemistry and become a physician, though in her wildest dreams, she's a famous singer. Maya Blackman, Harrison High School, Harrison, New York. Ariella, who worked with simulated Martian soil in her project, believes a manned mission to Mars is the next frontier of human exploration and hopes to be part of the journey. Here on Earth, Ariella plays the flute, dances ballet, and performs in musical theater. Angela Chen, North Carolina School of Science and Mathematics, Durham, North Carolina. Angela is the founder of Chess to All, a nonprofit that introduces underrepresented students to chess and has brought over 1,000 young people to the game. When she's not playing chess, you can find Angela reading, writing, or on the court playing volleyball with her friends. Corona Chen, the University of Chicago Laboratory High School, Chicago, Illinois. Corona loves to cook and says food is a great way to enjoy time with family, maintain good health, and pass down traditions and values. On her bucket list, working as a traveling food critic, which might help her with another ambition, visiting every continent, including Antarctica. Madeline Dubellois, Lycée Français du San Francisco, California. Madeline first encountered math through math circles, small gatherings that celebrate the beautiful quality of proofs. She encourages young scientists to find community with people who share their interests and goals. A puzzler and windsurfer, Madeline intends to major in mathematics. Cindy DeJanus, Scarsdale High School, Scarsdale, New York. Without tools to combat misinformation, Cindy believes her generation will only become more polarized. She co-founded her school's STEM magazine as a way to communicate scientific information to her community, and also established the Social Issues Book Group at her local library. August Deer, Gethin Academy at UCLA, Los Angeles, California. A magician, August often spends free time practicing new tricks or working with a deck of cards. August shares that this was his first science research project, and at one point, he thought about giving up, but persistence and focus allowed him to overcome the challenge. Angie Fogarty, Greenwich High School, Greenwich, Connecticut. A drummer and violinist, Angie loves music and says that around her, there's rarely a moment of silence. Angie also loves animals and intends to study at Washington University in St. Louis on the pre-veterinary track, although in another life, she would have gone to film school. Ambika Grover, Greenwich High School, Greenwich, Connecticut. Ambika, who researched a therapy for stroke patients, dreams of becoming a health policy advisor to the White House. The first person from Connecticut named to the USA debate team, Ambika also plays the viola in a string quartet and enjoys walks with her dog. Hannah Guan, Basis San Antonio Chavano Campus, San Antonio, Texas. Driving across Texas to access math activities as a child, Hannah witnessed how technology can widen existing socioeconomic gaps. Now planning to major in math and computer science, she dreams of working in tech policy to ensure that new innovations benefit us all. Fun Huan Linda He, Commonwealth School, Boston, Massachusetts. In elementary school, Linda used to spend hours on complex math problems. She advises young students interested in pursuing science research to find a topic they're especially passionate about and just explore. Linda also enjoys fencing, skiing, and ice skating. Michelle Hua, Cranbrook Kingswood School, Bloomfield Hills, Michigan. Michelle first encountered science raising butterflies in kindergarten and says thinking about a fascinating topic in STEM now sends excited butterflies to her stomach. Michelle is the captain of her rhythmic gymnastics team and has been active in the sport for over a decade. Lyndon Cy James, North Carolina School of Science and Mathematics, Durham, North Carolina. Lyndon aspires to be an international educator and hopes they will one day pay it forward as a teacher recommender for a future Science Talent Search applicant. In their free time, Lyndon enjoys cycling, leading their favorite songs on the ukulele, and playing with their cats. Thaddeus Kiker, Sunny Hills High School, Fullerton, California. Over the course of his life, Thaddeus has lived in 3 countries and called 5 states home. Next up might be the planet Ceres, where he dreams of building a settlement. His most important advice for young scientists? Stay connected to the wonder. Elaine Kim, Stanford University Online High School, Redwood City, California. A writer and gardener, Elaine credits her family with inspiring her to get involved in science research by teaching her to approach the world with hope, excitement, and perseverance. To young students looking to follow in her footsteps, Elaine advises chasing what you love without limits. Emily Kim, Jericho Senior High School, Jericho, New York. Inspired to raise awareness of the negative impacts of fast fashion, Emily created a clothing pickup service for New York City residents to promote clothing recycling. In the future, she hopes to continue to tackle environmental pollution and drive the movement towards global sustainability. Evan Kim, Tesla STEM High School, Redmond, Washington. Evan, who identified new hypothetical superconductors in his project, says his favorite hobbies include basketball, puzzles, and lifting, and that his favorite subjects are physics, computer science, and math. He hopes to go into quantum computing research, which lies at the intersection of all 3. Ryan Lee, Palo Alto High School, Palo Alto, California. Ryan is a photographer who enjoys capturing the landscapes and wildlife at his local nature preserve. Editing images of stars even led to a breakthrough in his project on neurodegeneration. Staring into the universe, Ryan says, helped him see into the brain of a tiny fruit fly. Mia Christina Margiano, St. Anthony's High School, Melville, New York. Mia is the founder of Mia's Hope, a nonprofit that assists pediatric cancer patients and their families. She believes poverty is the biggest problem facing today's youth, and that supporting them is crucial to building a better future. Mia will attend the University of Pennsylvania. Marissa Liliana Martinez, Monte Vista High School, Monte Vista, Colorado. Marissa is an avid hiker who enjoys backpacking and fly fishing. She would love a career doing research in ecology and exploring some of our biggest ecological problems, and says she'd be happy doing just about anything as long as she can be out in the field. Samantha Maya Milowitz, Byram Hills High School, Armonk, New York. As a volunteer firefighter and EMT, Samantha takes pride in being someone people turn to in crisis. It's also furthered her commitment to ensuring equitable healthcare access for all, and Samantha plans to one day channel that passion as a surgeon. Max Misterka, Misterka Homeschool, Harrisonburg, Virginia. Max is a talented pianist and singer, currently designing and programming his own video game, which he plans to publish this summer. Max says that there is true beauty in math and science and believes empowering more minds to explore these subjects will help solve today's biggest issues. Neil Maudgal, Saline High School, Saline, Michigan. Neil is a collector of rocks and minerals as well as postage stamps and ancient coins. Hobbies he shares with his grandfather, whom he considers a mentor and friend. He hopes young scientists know it's okay to make mistakes because they will learn from every failure. Ishika Nag, Oviedo High School, Oviedo, Florida. When Ishika was 8 years old, she built a pulley system elevator to deliver books up to her bunk bed, her first foray into engineering. A fan of swimming and embroidery, Ishika hopes to study environmental engineering and one day make her own library. Lavanya Natarajan, Vieira High School, Vieira, Florida. Lavanya's research journey started in elementary school when a drive past a landfill left her curious about the root cause of the odor, a curiosity she continued to pursue in her current project. A Carnatic vocalist, Lavanya enjoys tennis and board games. Ozioma Chukwu Chidubem Obi, North Carolina School of Science and Mathematics, Durham, North Carolina. Ozioma, who calls himself an orchestra kid, is co-concertmaster of his school orchestra and founder of the strings duo Ford and Ozzy. His list of dream jobs includes both professional soloist and physician, and in college, he intends to major in neuroscience. Emily Ocasio, New School of Northern Virginia, Fairfax, Virginia. Emily once took a test that deemed her 95% extroverted and says she is always up for an adventure as long as someone is sharing the journey. An accomplished painter, Emily is also CEO of the Girls Computing League, which helps make technology education accessible to all. Sidhu Pachipala, The Woodlands College Park High School, The Woodlands, Texas. As the founder of Embolden, a social justice group that provides civic education to the AAPI community, Sidhu sees through the idea that politics is reserved for election years. Believing that change requires both science and policy, Sidhu will study political science at MIT. Joseph Miguel Robertasi, Ossining High School, Ossining, New York. Joseph credits his father with opening his eyes to the world of science research and the collaboration one can find within it. A runner and cellist, Joseph can see himself going into software engineering, maybe even owning a tech company that rivals Google or Microsoft. Joshua Logan Shunk. Perry High School, Gilbert, Arizona. Joshua is the captain of the school's hockey team and has been playing since he was 6 years old. Joshua would love to lead a research lab one day and says one of the greatest gifts we can give is inspiring someone else. Diego Emilio Suchinski-Lustino, Massachusetts Academy of Math and Science, Worcester, Massachusetts. Diego wants to change the way biomechanical research is done through a people-first approach and aims to continue that journey studying molecular biophysics and biochemistry at Yale University. Think big, he advises future scientists, and if what you're doing is successful, think bigger. Jason Christopher Wang, Brentwood High School, Brentwood, Tennessee. Jason volunteers at the Adventure Science Center in Nashville, where he is part of a selective youth leadership group dedicated to engaging visitors and fostering community relationships. At MIT next year, Jason plans to major in biological engineering and swim on the men's varsity team. Nolan Wen, American Heritage School, Boca del Rey Beach, Florida. Nolan is a devoted sports fan who plays basketball and enjoys rooting for his favorite teams, the Dallas Cowboys, Arsenal, and the LA Clippers. Accepted to the University of Pennsylvania's Accelerated Biodental program, Nolan will pursue a career in dentistry. Vivian Wu, Palo Alto High School, Palo Alto, California. Vivian, whose research began with observations made at her own hives, is a hobby beekeeper who loves gifting harvested honey to her friends and neighbors. Vivian encourages young students to pursue science for the invaluable skills it teaches, among them creativity, critical thinking, and persistence. Ellen Shu, Del Norte High School, San Diego, California. Ellen runs half marathons and dabbles in martial arts, but says her ideal form of relaxation is reading. Ellen, who developed a convolutional neural network to aid in the diagnosis of Kawasaki disease, plans to attend Stanford University and to continue solving grand challenges with AI. Jeffrey Hsu, Lowell High School, San Francisco, California. On weekends, you can find Jeffrey biking by the ocean or jogging across the Golden Gate Bridge. He is the founder of the school's Cancer Awareness Club and wants to become an onco-immunologist. Other aspirations include flying a plane and skydiving. Ethan Zhou, McLean High School, McLean, Virginia. Ethan is a classical pianist and is especially fond of Chopin's Barcarolle, the first piece that truly spoke to him. Ethan reminds those interested in science to stay curious. Nature is full of mysteries, and if nothing else, remembering this can make life more beautiful. Kevin Zhu, Jericho Senior High School, Jericho, New York. Some of Kevin's wildest bucket list items include hot air balloon skydiving in Greece and inventing teleportation. He also hopes to continue investigating methods for the early detection of cancer while spearheading a public, societal movement for mental health support and advocacy. Sally Zhu, the Harker School, San Jose, California. Research is full of challenges, Sally counsels, but even small accomplishments are incredibly rewarding. The founder of her school's puzzle club and a fan of jigsaws and brain teasers, Sally would love a career teaching the next generation of scientists while also pursuing cutting-edge research. Sophie Zhu, Williamsville East High School, East Amherst, New York. Sophie adores literature. Half her time is spent writing poetry or experimental fiction. The other half reading cultural criticism or literary theory. Once the youngest student and only girl on her math team, it's now her dream to study theoretical mathematics and become a professor.
Let us hear it for the Regeneron Science Talent Search class of 2023. Congratulations to you all. Now, it is an annual tradition during STS to elect a class speaker, a recognition that's named in honor of nuclear chemist Dr. Glenn T. Seaborg. Among his many achievements, Dr. Seaborg was a Nobel laureate, an advisor to several U.S. presidents, and discoverer of 10 atomic elements, one of which, Seaborgium, even bears his name. A champion of upholding the public's understanding of science and education, Dr. Seaborg also served on the Society's Board of Trustees for 30 years. In this capacity, he was a mentor and an inspiration to over 1,000 Science Talent Search finalists. To honor his legacy every year, the finalists choose one voice among them who best exemplifies their class and shares Dr. Seaborg's extraordinary ability to inspire a passion for science in others. So I invite Maya back to the stage to present this year's Seaborg Award. The recipient of the 2023 Glenn T. Seaborg Award is, from the Woodlands, Texas, Sidhu Pachipala. Sidhu?
Well, thank you, Soledad, for that sweet introduction. And on behalf of all 40 of us nerds, thank you to Society for Science and Regeneron for bringing us all together. But before we get into it, I'd like everyone to please close their eyes. Yes, even you guys at home and the finalists behind me. And no, this isn't nap time. Okay, so take a deep breath in. Hold for 1, 2, 3. Great, now sigh that all out. And you can open your eyes again. Dr. Paul Kalanithi could be said to have done everything right in his life. He's never lit a cigarette and brought it to his mouth. He skips out on Taco Tuesdays to analyze that last cell culture in the lab. And by the time he stumbles out of the clinic at 8 p.m., he saved a life or two at the operating table. But today is different. Today, Kalanithi checks into the hospital not as a neurosurgeon, but a patient. And there he learns that in exactly 1 year, at the age of 37, he'll be dead. Stage 4 metastatic lung cancer, they say. It feels cruel for Kalanithi to die so young, but on his deathbed, he'll disagree. Acutely aware of his own mortality, Kalanithi pursues his remaining days with purpose, intensity even, brushing his teeth, buttoning his shirt, kissing his wife. The little things we just fly by carry meaning. And in 1 year, he finds more of that meaning than the rest of us can in decades. So, STS family, what is living? Yes, it's loving all the big moments, the fancy dresses and tuxes, the downright terrifying judging panels, and the big, shiny ballrooms. But it's soaking in the little in-betweens, too. It's watching the Rubik's Cube somehow snake their way into every nook and cranny in the Conrad. It's holding on to hand warmers and blankets for dear life outside the Capitol building. And it's sitting side by side, reassuring and ranting and realizing that even if it's all a struggle, it's our struggle. And this group of 39 up peers made finding that beauty super easy. Sure, just a couple months ago, y'all's faces would have looked like AI-generated stock photos, but there's certain things in life that really make you know a person. Tragedy, football games, and Regeneron STS. Because between expert panels and lab tours, we've learned about everything. Honeybees and hydrogels, Mars and microbes, superconductors and suicide. Not from teachers, not from textbooks, but each other. And in the process, we've all felt something reignite. That annoying, childlike thing that brought us to STEM in the first place. That one word that makes the mundane magical. A question. So I'll leave you with a question tonight. As we leave DC for now, what are we taking with us? Number one, excessive amounts of luggage. Seriously, we should have rented a U-Haul. But number two, a reminder to not get lost in the sauce, to savor all the moments, even this one, as you watch a random high schooler give you life advice. So, close your eyes again. Breathe in, breathe through, breathe deep, breathe out. You can open your eyes again. We're here, and we slayed. Don't forget it. Thank you, everyone, and thank you especially to these 39.
Wonderful job, wonderful. Great job, Sadhu. And congratulations on behalf of Regeneron and Society for Science. And like Sadhu, each of our finalists has expressed their gratitude to those who have helped them achieve success. On their behalf, I'd like to take this moment to recognize the teachers, the mentors, the research advisors, and of course, the families who have supported and encouraged these exceptional students in their pursuit of scientific innovation. Let's give them a round of applause. Now, it goes without saying that the Science Talent Search is a demanding competition, beginning with an initial pool of nearly 2,000 entrants. 300 scholars were selected by a panel of evaluators for their exceptional research skills. Many of those evaluators are with us tonight, and we would like to thank them for their service. From those 300 scholars, the prestigious final 40 you see before you are then selected based on the creativity, scientific rigor, and world-changing potential of their research. Over the last few days, each finalist has presented their research to our esteemed judging panel and participated in individual interviews designed to evaluate overall knowledge of science, complex problem solving, and innovative thinking beyond their own field of study. So now I'd like to introduce the chair of the Regeneron Science Talent Search judging panel from Vanderbilt University and the Vanderbilt Institute of Nanoscale Science and Engineering. Please join me in welcoming Dr. Jason Valentine.
Good evening. I know I speak for the entire judging panel when I say that this week has been a remarkable opportunity to truly meet the future in science. It has been our great pleasure to get to know the finalists and learn about their fascinating research. I'd like to thank my colleagues on the panel for dedicating their time and resources to ensuring that each finalist had an extensive adjudication. My fellow judges are Dr. Brent Carey, Dr. Nyasha Chambwe, Dr. Irene Chen, 1995 STS alum, Dr. Ved Chirayath, Dr. Jacinta Conrad, 1995 STS alum, Dr. Shomit Dasgupta, 1995 STS alum, Dr. Martha Davila Garcia, Dr. Claudine Gartenberg, 1992 STS alum, Dr. Dan Grohlman, 1999 STS alum, Dr. Jennifer Kalish, 1994 STS alum, Dr. Daewei Lin, Dr. Robert Rue, Dr. Richard Shirado, 1977 STS alum, Dr. Naomi Taylor, 1980 STS alum, Dr. Christine Willett, 1989 STS alum, and Dr. Melanie Matchett-Wood. We are all too grateful for those who have nurtured these young scientists and helped them achieve so much so early in their careers. Now, I'd like to invite Maya and George back to the stage for the moment we've all been waiting for. It is my honor to announce the top prize winners of the 2023 Regeneron Science Talent Search. Envelope, please. The 10th place winner and the recipient of a $40,000 award from Fullerton, California, Thaddeus Kiker. The 9th place winner and recipient of a $50,000 award from the Woodlands, Texas, Sadhu Pachipala. Okay. The 8th place winner and the recipient of a $60,000 award from Armonk, New York, Samantha Maya Milowitz. The 7th place winner and the recipient of a $70,000 award from McLean, Virginia, Ethan Joe. The 6th place winner and recipient of an $80,000 award from Greenwich, Connecticut, Ambika Grover. The 5th place winner and the recipient of a $90,000 award from Durham, North Carolina, Lyndon Cy James. The 4th place winner and the recipient of a $100,000 award from Harrisburg, Virginia, Max Misterka. Okay. The 3rd place winner and the recipient of a $150,000 award from San Diego, California, Ellen Shu. The second place winner and the recipient of a $175,000 award from Fairfax, Virginia, Emily Ocasio. The first place winner and the recipient of a $250,000 award from Saline, Michigan, Neil Mogdal.
Congratulations to our top 10 winners of the 2023 Regeneron Science Talent Search. On behalf of Society for Science and Regeneron, thank you again, all of you, for joining us this evening. If you are going to be an incoming high school senior and you are inspired by this amazing group, learn more about Regeneron STS on the Society's website, the 2024 application, official rules, eligibility guidelines, all will be available starting June 1st. Congratulations to each and every one of our brilliant finalists, and thank you for serving as inspiration to all of us. We all wish you the best in your future endeavors. Good night, everybody.